In our classroom, we will be starting a new group assignment using project-based learning. Project-based learning is an instructional approach built upon authentic learning activities that engage student interest and motivation. These activities are designed to answer a question or solve a problem and generally reflect the types of learning and work people do in everyday world outside their classroom. PBL is effective for all audiences of students and provide many benefits. Students will benefit by making room for focus, discipline, self-motivation, and responsibility to learn, as well as having students be able to work through their problems and practice strategies that matter the most when they are trying to reach their goal. While using PBL, students will be given a longer due date for their end project, but will be required to have several check-ins throughout the process. This gives students enough time to focus on what they are learning about rather than rushing into a lesson. But with check-ins, it enforces them to stay up to date with their work. While using PBL, students are able to use technology as a tool for a discovery of knowledge and a new way to research while learning more of a priority and setting stage for success.
Hi, I'm Sarah Merrills, and I'm going to tell you about what we've done so far in our groups. Before we actually got a group, we were told to go to Profiler Pro, and we took a survey on what we were good at and what things that we knew and didn't know about technology in the classroom. After we took that quiz, immediately actually, we were able to see our strengths and weaknesses in technology, and that helped me especially be able to grow and decide what I really need to accomplish out of this class and what I need to look forward to as a teacher to incorporate into my classroom. After that, we picked out our groups. I decided to go with local history, so there's two others of us in local history. And this entire semester, we have been working together each week to accomplish a task. And this not only teaches us great skills of working together in a group, but also skills that we're going to use in the classroom. We learned to blog our first few weeks and invite others, and that was challenging for me, but working as a group, we were able to figure out how exactly to do that, and now we have our own blog, Local History. It talks about Kalamazoo. We have been assigned, we did create a class within our local history group. Our class has done several things so far. We've made a concept map which kind of told us exactly what we want to go through with our class and what things we want to do. So we have decided to have a wax museum, and at the end of the semester, all the students' parents and their friends will be able to go through this wax museum that tells about Kalamazoo. After our concept maps, we decided with our students to have them find pen pals because we couldn't explain to them exactly how to find things out about Kalamazoo history without them first finding out about other people's history. So we actually sent our students all the way to Wichita, Kansas via the internet to meet with their pen pals. And their pen pals told them about 3 different parts of their local history. After that, we made a map and showed our students exactly where their pen pals were located. We've also done a paper on fair use and copyright issues. It is a big deal, especially now, with students copying work that is not theirs off the internet. As teachers, we need to be aware of those very serious precautions and that it's definitely not okay to copy somebody else's work, especially when you don't put that it is someone else's work that they have made themselves. So we wrote a paper about that. Throughout this whole course, we've learned that as teachers, we need to have a plan every day. Whether or not you really do have a plan, you need to have a backup plan in your head for what you're going to do that day. So for example, simple things like, do you have enough supplies for that day for your students? Do you have enough computers when you go into the computer lab? Have you decided how many people to a group? All those things are important as a teacher. This class is rotated a lot around group work, and that's exactly what our students are going to do. So as teachers, it's great that we are able to work together through technology in this classroom, because that just gives us more information of what we need as a teacher. By being a teacher, we need management, and management is huge, not only in the classroom, but in your own studies and in your students' everyday studies. We all need to be organized, and with organization comes management. So we have learned about that, and also we've learned about the limits with technology. There are hundreds of things that we can do through technology, but we need to be careful and make sure that we're doing exactly what is safe for our students and for ourselves. So we have also done a paper on what websites are good in the classroom, and this was very informational because your students should not be going to websites that are not already okayed or previewed by the teacher. These are just a few things that we've learned, and project-based learning has helped us along, teaching us about each one of these things in even more detail. So thank you for listening, and we're on to the next part.
After researching all of the subtopics that relate to the history of Kalamazoo as a class, students will be placed into groups: Kalamazoo Buildings, Kalamazoo People, and Kalamazoo Education. From there, each group member will take a subtopic and become experts on it. That preparation will help us get to our big project, the Wax Museum. This is where the students will be placed around the classroom, and visitors will walk around and press so-called buttons. When a student's button is pressed, they will begin sharing what they've learned and put together about their subtopic. As teachers, we feel that a wax museum would not be done well individually. It calls for learning communities and group effort. The learning communities force the students to work together to solve problems and come up with the final solution together. The group needs to have order and be able to organize everyone's ideas and input. That being said, yes, the students can research independently. However, the students must come together eventually and discuss what topics should be covered and presented in their wax museum, and how so. The students must understand that one person, building, or educational topic does not represent the history of Kalamazoo as a whole. It is a collaboration of all of these things.